Good evening, everyone. As promised, we are here to commence our live class on mastering HSE statistics. By way of introduction, many organizations measure occupational health, safety, and environmental management system performance. But how do we know that you are measuring the right information to help your company grow? Using up resources on metrics that don't improve your health and safety management system as a whole can actually distract you from the task of ensuring peak performance. The better your occupational health, safety, and environment management system gets, the more compliant you will be with health, safety, and environment processes. This means it will be harder to improve performance. Making sure you're measuring the right things is all part of the journey to great performance. So it's important to get it right. Common metrics are often divided into reactive, that is, lagging indicators, and proactive, that is, leading indicators. Most companies find it easier to measure reactive data because they already have systems in place to gather this information. These are things like the number of READR. READR stands for the reporting of incidents, diseases, and dangerous occurrences regulations, reportable events or accidents, and actions defined by the company. On this page, we have records, HSE metrics, that are taken from estimated from self-reports from the labor force. And as you can see here, the first one is about work-related ill health cases, and the number is 1.8 million. This was taken for the year 2021/22. The second item here says work-related stress, depression, or anxiety cases. The number attached to that is 0.9 million. I'll take the third one now, which says work-related musculoskeletal disorder cases, and the number attached to that is 0.5 million. Now, looking at all the metrics on this page, you see that the list we have there is 0.1 million, and that one is for workers suffering from COVID-19 in the year 2021-2022, which they believe may have been from exposure to coronavirus at their workplace. The numbers here are quite high, and they're not too good for the workplace, and it's the reason why in the first instance we take HSE, that's safety, very seriously in our workplaces. Further, we move on. What is health? This is a state of complete physical, emotional, social, and mental well-being, and not necessarily the absence of disease or infirmity. What is safety? This is a state in which one is protected from danger or situation that can cause harm or injury. What is the environment? This is the total surrounding of a man, which includes land, water, plants, animals, and so on. Living therein and the interdependency which exists between them, which means that the way plants relate with the animal and the way animals relate with bacteria, all those things interwoven makes up for the environment. And every part of the environment requires to be respected. The word statistics is quite familiar to us, as it has always been used in our everyday conversations. Statistics and statistical analysis are used in almost every profession, in mathematics, in medicine, For the purpose of this course, statistics is defined as the science of collecting, organizing, presenting, and analyzing of numerical data, as well as drawing valid conclusions and making reasonable decisions on the basis of such analysis. HSE statistics. These are numerical values used to assess health and safety performance against set targets. A benchmark threshold value. The statistics work in relation to safety data and are generated daily through weekly, quarterly, and yearly. In a nutshell, we have a system in place whereby we give reports on a weekly basis, on a quarterly basis, and on a yearly basis. All these reports are used to ensure that we keep the figures of accidents within the workplace as low as reasonably practicable. The ideal value is 0. Statistics paints an awful picture of work-related injuries and deaths. In fact, in 1988 alone, about 4,800 Nigerians, employees, died or received injuries at their workplaces, resulting in permanent disabilities. This fact in itself has given rise to many introductions in our workplaces engineered towards reducing all these injuries in the workplace. Statistics is used side by side with key performance indicators, KPI, and these KPIs are categorized into leading/proactive, that is, taking measures to avoid the incident, especially behavioral measures, and lagging, that is, reactive, failures that require action. In other words, leading/proactive KPIs are used to prevent incidents from happening in the workplace, whereas lagging/reactive KPIs are used to measure how well we take care of things should an event or an injury or an incident occur at the workplace. Lagging or reactive indicators are used to measure our responses and recovery safety. Now, we're discussing key performance indicators. What are they? KPIs, that is, key performance indicators, are a valuable way of monitoring lagging or leading performance. Tracking them is an integral part of any HSE manager's role. While lagging indicators can be used to track incidents that have occurred, past data, and assist in sourcing the root of the problem, leading indicators are more predictive by nature. They help companies address and prevent potential issues and incidents from occurring in the first place. HSE KPIs are quantifiable measures used to evaluate an organization's performance in terms of maintaining a safe and healthy workplace. These indicators help track and assess various aspects of occupational health and safety, allowing organizations to identify areas of concern, set goals, and drive continuous improvement. They generally revolve around monitoring incidents, compliance, training, risk assessment, and other key factors related to employee well-being. KPIs are a valuable way of monitoring lagging or leading performances. Tracking HSE KPIs allows a business to determine how safe the work environment is for employees and whether the company is within regulatory compliance from organizations. Tracking these key performance indicators help companies determine which safety standards they are already meeting and which standards they might need to allocate more resources to. All these things are important to help a company be well equipped to do the major thing, which is keep accident level at absolute zero. The use of KPIs or key performance indicators can help a company reach important business objectives. KPIs can help you monitor a variety of metrics, from marketing and accounting management to health and safety. Understanding what safety KPIs are can help you differentiate them from other KPIs and learn which ones are important to measure. In other words, KPIs are used for various factors in an organization, same as they are applicable to health, safety, and environment. Characteristics of a good health, safety, performance KPI. A good performance indicator is part of the SMART goal KPI tool. Now, when we say SMART, what do you mean? S stands for specific. It should be clear what is being measured. M stands for measurable. It should be measurable against set standards. A stands for achievable. Target a realistic, achievable goal. R stands for relevant, which means that your KPI should offer insight into overall safety performance. T stands for timely, which means that KPIs should follow a set time frame. Like other business units, health and safety departments are no exception to tracking key metrics that show performance. While you may not report any accidents, this doesn't necessarily mean you can become complacent and assume that your safety operations are effective. Developing reliable health and safety metrics will largely depend on your goals and what you want to accomplish. Effectively measuring health and safety KPIs will help you on your way to achieving a robust safety culture. Establishing key performance indicators. Like we have already mentioned, there's the leading KPI and there is the lagging KPI. Now, we want to talk about how we are to establish them. Defining the occupational health, safety, and environmental KPIs for a company is an important step in ensuring that the company is meeting its obligations to protect its workers and the environment. Here is an outline of the steps you can take to define HSE KPIs for an organization, which can be applicable to or varies in different sectors. 1. Identify the areas of the processes that pose the most significant risk to workers' safety and the environment. E.g., this could include excavation, working at heights, lifting, heavy equipment movement, handling of hazardous equipment, or other activities that pose that pose hazard to workers or the environment, like working in a confined space. Number 2, determine the goals you want to achieve in each of these areas. For example, reducing the number of accidents or incidents, reducing hazardous waste production, increasing HSE training man hours, or reducing carbon emission. 3. Establish a baseline for each KPI. This will help you to track progress over time and determine whether you are making progress towards your goals. You can use data from previous years or industry benchmarks to establish your baseline. Number 4 now says, set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, that is, SMART targets for each KPI. These targets should be based on your goals and the baseline data you have found. Examples of construction-specific KPIs could include the frequency rate of total recordable cases per project, the number of safety inspections performed, the HSE training man-hour ratio, or the percentage of waste material diverted from landfills. Number 5, assign responsibilities for achieving each KPI to a specific person or team. This will help ensure that everyone is working together to achieve the same goals and that progress is being made. Number 6, establish a system for tracking progress towards each KPI. This could include regular reporting, audits, or inspections. This system should be easy to use and provide real-time information on performance. Number 7, evaluate the effectiveness of your HSE KPIs on a regular basis. Use the data you have collected to determine whether your KPIs are helping you achieve your goals and whether you need to be adjusted. By following these steps, you can define HSE KPIs for a company that will help you meet your obligations to protect your workers and the environment. It is critical to include all stakeholders in the process, including workers, supervisors, and management, as well as to continuously monitor and evaluate your KPIs to ensure their effectiveness. Key performance indicators matrix. That's the metrics. What are they and how do they function? The feedback arising from occupational health, safety and environmental key performance indicators, KPI metrics, will help in motivating leaders and are crucial to maintaining sound occupational health, safety and environmental management systems. Proactive measures can be more challenging for organizations to agree to and gather data on, but that doesn't mean they should be ignored. We have put together a list of essential metrics you should be tracking in your business that I consider to be essential to measure. Number 1 is the man hour. The number of hours the workers are on duty per day. Number 2, average employee overtime hours. Number of hours they spend after the agreed hours that you should spend at work per day and can be measured over a specific period of time. Number 3 is reported accidents, incidents, near misses. Number 4, number of risk assessments reviewed. Reviewing risk assessment is a key practice in the management of HSE. Lost time injury frequency rate, that's LTIFR. Number 6 is equipment breakdowns. Number 7, safety audits and inspections. Number 8 metric is corrective actions. Number 9 is employee attendance rates. And number 10, average resolution rate, that's ART. 11, total recordable injury frequency rate. I'll take 11 again. Total recordable injury frequency rate, that is TRIFR. And number 12, health and safety prevention costs. All these mentioned are KPI metrics that are what's being followed up, taken in an organization, and used to analyze the performance level of the HSE system. Starting with the first one, which is man hour. What is man hour? The main issue in the discussion of safety statistics is the exposure man hour, as this is the calculative determinant of statistical data in safety. The use of 1 million man hours for calculation is the benchmark that sets milestone achievement. If a company works for 1 million man hours without lost time injury, LTI, that company has achieved a milestone in safety. How do you calculate man hour? The daily man hour is calculated as shown on this page, and that is by number of personnel times number of hours worked per day. In desktop energy services, 6 personnel worked 8 hours per day. What is the total man hour? And the solution, where 6 is number of personnel and 8 hours are worked per day. Therefore, 6 times 8, which equals 48 man hours per day, is the man hour figure for desktop energy services. And like that, you can see how to calculate the man hour for a day. You could decide to calculate man hour for a month or for the whole year, depending on what period we want to evaluate. Number 2, average employee overtime hours. This KPI helps companies track the number of overtime hours each employee works. Overtime refers to any hour an employee works outside of their normal schedule. Overtime hours can vary by business, so consider what your company considers overtime. This measurement helps you understand how overtime hours affect employee performance and might affect the health and safety of the workplace. For example, you might limit the number of overtime hours available in a manufacturing setting to reduce the likelihood of fatigue, which might reduce workplace incidents and reduce the overall risk you face as a business. Number 3, reported accidents, incidents, near misses. This KPI is a measurement of the total sum of workplace incidents or accidents or near misses that employees or management reported over a period of time. For example, you might want to measure all the workplace incidents over a 3-month period following the introduction of a new machinery. By measuring the reported incidents KPI, you can determine if there is a correlation between the increase in reported incidents and the new machinery. You can also determine the total cost of any incident related to your new machinery to decide whether the machine is a good investment for the business or not. This first point should be taken as a given, a lagging indicator in its most obvious form. However, it really does provide the health and safety department with a high-level benchmark. Number 3, reported accidents / incidents near misses. It is required by law for work-related accidents resulting in a reportable injury. As already mentioned, a hugely misrepresented area for many organizations is the reporting near misses incidents. Effectively reporting near misses and reviewing the mitigating strategies that ensue means that organizations can go a long way to preventing potential disasters. But how will anyone know of the success in this area if it's not being tracked? Tracking near misses involves employee participation. Ensure the proper reporting channels are in place to give near miss incidents the same level of priority as actual incidents. Remember to encourage employees to feedback without fear of punitive actions actively. In other words, in a particular company, effort should be made to keep track of all near misses, because when you keep track of those well enough, you can be sure you will prevent the occurrences of accidents. How do we measure this? Reported accidents and incidents/near misses in the workplace. These are incident/accident cases that form regular statistics, and they include the following. Number 1, FAT, standing for fatality, that is death. Number 2 is PTD, standing for permanent total disability. Number 3 is PPD, standing for partial permanent disability. Number 4 is LWC, standing for lost work case. Number 5 is RWC, standing for restricted workday case. Number 6 is MTC, standing for medical treatment case. Number 7, FAC, standing for first aid case. And number 8 is NM, standing for near misses. Fatality, FAT. What does it mean? This means that an accident occurred and it was deadly. That is, there was loss of life. Permanent total disability, as PTD. In this case, a victim loses total part of the body but can still come to work. Number 3 is partial permanent disability, which is PPD. In this case, a victim loses part of the body, which is permanent, and can no longer work. Number 4 is lost workday case, LWC. In this case, a victim cannot come to work or is absent for some days because of the accident. Number 5, restricted workday case. Here, the victim goes to work but does little or no work. That is, the victim is at work alright, but he can't do much work, so just around. First aid case, as FAC. In this case, the victim is being given first aid and he goes back to work. Medical treatment case, as MTC. In this case, the victim is being treated by a medical professional and he goes back to work within 24 hours. Then, number 8, near misses. In this case, an accident which could have happened was prevented, maybe due to quick intervention or luck. So, on this basis, during HSE audits, we like to observe any records of near misses and absolutely zero record of all others. Number of risk assessments reviewed. This should typically be done over 12 months. If the target is high and reviews take place, there is a chance for you to consider any relevant changes that may be needed to the safe systems of work. These changes may require investment to improve working procedures, which will be tracked. By using a RAG-related system, that is, red, amber, and green, senior management teams can check progress in a monthly/quarterly basis. Number 5, lost time injury frequency rate. This KPI measures the frequency of injuries or incidents that occur over a period of time that cause lost time. For example, a minor safety incident might cause more than 1 hour of production time, but a serious accident can cause weeks or months of lost time. We can calculate this important safety KPI with this formula. A lost time injury LTI frequency This is the total number of LTI recorded in every 1 million man hour worked. And to calculate it, we use the formula below. That is, number of lost time injuries in 1 million man hours all over exposure man hour. That's the formula. Lost time injury frequency rate. Using this formula, you can determine that the company with 100 lost time injuries over a course of 1,800,000 employees man hours work yields a LTIR of 50 lost time injuries for every 1 million man hours. The lost time injury frequency, LTIF, this is the total number of LTI recorded in every 1 million man hour worked. It is calculated as such: number of LTIs times 1 million man hours over exposure man hour. Number 6, equipment breakdowns. This KPI helps measure any effect that equipment breakdown and maintenance hours can have on production of company safety. For example, if a machine breaks down frequently, it might be less safe to operate until you find and fix that mechanical problem. You can measure the total hours lost due to equipment breakdown, the total cost of any injuries associated with equipment breakdown, or the frequency of equipment breakdown as it relates to injuries. Then divide the number of machine breakdown by the number of injuries to create a frequency rate. Using this formula is an example. In an example, you can determine that a machine that breaks down 15 times over 6 months and created 37 injuries has a breakdown and injury frequency rate of about 40%. 7. Safety audits and inspection. Are you keeping track of the number of audits and inspections undertaken across the business on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis? A health and safety audit of the whole management system is considered to be one of the most proactive tasks a company may do. It's an excellent way of gathering insights on your health and safety management system's performance. Routine auditing of work processes is an essential part of due diligence ahead of starting a job. Keep count of completed audits and inspections and note who meets them to keep track of changes in standards. Safety audits and inspection continues. An audit will usually collect independent information on the effectiveness of the management system. Before suggesting corrective actions, it should establish the current situation by using observation, interview, and document assessment techniques. Information on performance can then be divided into legal standards and best practice feedback with proactive conclusions. This way, the senior staff can determine the level of compliance to best practice and, in some cases, legal standards. Number 8, corrective actions. The corrective actions KPI measures the number of corrective actions the company takes to address specific health and safety issues. For example, if the company reduces production by 20% during summer hours to avoid heat exhaustion in their main warehouse, the company might consider this a corrective action. Identifying and reporting the details of corrective actions is important because it helps you learn more about what actions the company takes for specific issues and the cost of those actions. Identifying, fixing, and tracking problems will help you identify patterns arising within the workplace from similar incidents. It will also assist in resolving similar issues more efficiently and help hold employees accountable for the part their actions played in a given situation. While fixing issues is advisable, it's not enough to fix them and not report them. Employee attendance rates. Calculating employee attendance rates allows the company to determine how often employees call in sick and miss work, which can provide insight to the company on the health of its workplace. Calculating employee attendance rates also helps you learn which employees are more likely to call in sick due to health issues and whether their health issues correlate with working conditions. For example, if several employees call in sick for 2 days following a week of overtime hours, you might assume they are experiencing workplace fatigue. Understanding attendance rates helps you to create more health-conscious work policies. Number 10, average resolution time, ART. ART is a measure of the average time from the onset of a safety or health concern to its conclusion or resolution. The amount of time that elapses between onset and resolution can help you determine the efficacy of health and safety coordinator efforts and the accuracy and consistency of incident reports. For example, if an employee experiences a workplace accident, the company might measure the act to determine the efficiency of its accident response team. This can help you improve employee reporting and restructure company responses. Number 11, total recordable injury frequency rate, TRIFR. This KPI is a measurement of the total number of workplace incidents, accidents, or fatalities that require medical attention per 1 million labor hours. That is 1 million man hours. Measuring it can help you determine how many of your company's incidents require medical attention, how many labor hours these incidents cost the company, and the rate of these incidents per million hours. You can calculate this KPI with the following formula. TRIFR equals total number of incidents times 1 million man hours divided by total employee hours worked. For a company with 50 medical incidents over a course of 4 million employee man hours, you can determine the TRIFR to be 37.5 incidents requiring medical attention per 1 million hours worked. Health and safety prevention costs. That's number 12. This KPI helps companies measure the monetary cost of health and safety prevention efforts. For example, if the company spends extra money on rewarding employees for good health, it might consider those expenses necessary to workplace safety. Or if the company invests in modern safety equipment, the company might want to know the overall cost and maintenance cost of that equipment. You can compare this cost to the cost of the company had before such investments to determine if investing in health and safety has a positive and measurable financial effect on the company. No different to any other department, you will need to track your spending in health and safety on the various initiatives outlined above to report back to superiors and ultimately improve the bottom line, which is ensuring that no accident ever occurs in your own area. Number 13, employee training. This KPI measures the frequency of employee training and the number of hours the company invests into employee training. You can also use this KPI to determine the total cost of employee training in health and safety standards. Measure the total hours the company spends on employee training in health and safety and multiply it by the hourly salary of each employee. For example, if you train 50 employees who make $20 per hour for 15 hours, you are spending $15,000 total on health and safety training, or around $200 per employee. Get it right. The relevant health and safety training for all staff at all levels within any organization is paramount to establishing a good practice. Ensuring that employees are aware of all your company's procedures and policies is essential for creating a safety culture and raising engagement levels. Keeping track of employee training records is vital to keeping your compliant and demonstrates a proactive approach to company. Wide health and safety efforts. Training certificates must not expire for many businesses, so this key metric cannot be overlooked. This is the reason why most professionals are encouraged to go for retraining after a number of years, and in some practices certificates expire and the holders are required to go and get recertified. Key performance indicators and of health and safety, leading and lagging indicators. First of all, we're discussing leading indicators. Leading indicators are proactive, preventative, and predictive measures to identify and eliminate risks and hazards in the workplace that can cause incidents and injuries. Leading indicators are a form of active monitoring focused on a few critical risk control systems to ensure their continued effectiveness. Leading indicators require a routine systematic check that key actions or activities are undertaken as intended. They can be considered as measures or process or inputs essential to deliver the desired safety outcome. Leading indicators that are connected to specific occupational health and safety program goals introduce a real level of accountability for those goals. Leading indicators are also measure and monitor their relative importance to health and safety within the organization. Still on leading indicators. Leading indicators can work to complement the more traditional outcome-based measures of lagging indicators and can be used to balance out some of their limitations. Leading indicators can be broadly sorted into the following categories. Number 1, operations-based leading indicators. These metrics that reveal how well an organization's infrastructure, e.g., machinery operations, is functioning. For large organizations with multiple locations, these indicators can be site-specific. Number 2, systems-based leading indicators. These indicators relate more to the management of the environmental, health, and safety system. System-based indicators can be rolled up from a facility level to a region/business unit or corporate level. Number 3, behavior-based leading indicators. Indicators that measure the safety behaviors or action of individuals or groups in the workplace. Behavior-based leading indicators can be reviewed at site-specific levels through management levels. Now, let's talk about lagging indicators. Lagging indicators measure a company's health and safety performance by tracking accident statistics. They are a record of things that have already happened. Since they record things after the fact, they inform a reactive health and safety culture. Lagging indicators are a form of reactive monitoring requiring the reporting and investigation of specific incidents and events to discover weaknesses in that system. These incidents or events do not have to result in major damages or injury or even a loss of containment, providing that they represent a failure or a significant control system which guards against or limits consequences of a major incident. Lagging indicators show when a desired safety outcome has failed or has not been achieved. Importance of leading and lagging indicators for measuring the performance of each critical element of a safety management system. If we provide the more training for specific potential safety critical issues, we can prevent that accident. So we can achieve the good performance of lagging indicators also. Poor leading indicator performance is not advisable to correlate with good lagging indicator performance. But poor lagging indicator performance may be due to poor leading indicator performance. Also, these are two different indicators. Leading indicators before the event, lagging indicators after the event. For inevitable accidents, the leading performance indicators can help, like an external floating tank rim seal failure due to lightning impact during a thunderstorm in a process industry. For general accidents, the performance of leading indicators help to achieve the good performance of lagging indicators. Like more training, supervision, and monitoring will avert the unsafe condition at workplace, like leakage or corrosion found in the production lines during the safety inspections. This unsafe condition has been rectified immediately by the maintenance team. So this will help to prevent the major / minor accidents that workplace at workplace, and we achieve the good lagging indicator performance also. Regardless, it is important to monitor lagging indicator data because evidence of increasing incidents at work injury and or illnesses is a signal that improvements are needed in the workplace safety system. It is worth noting, however, that many workplaces have too few injuries to be able to distinguish real trends from random occurrences, and there is also the possibility that not all injuries are reported. With that, we come to the end of the training, and the name of the trainer is Agbola David Oluwagbonmi. The company that is presenting this training right now is Deslog Trading and Consulting Limited, and at this point in time, this period, we're running a promo called Trains for Job Promo 2023. The promo is designed to attract people from all walks of life to come and check the possibility of them getting trained professionally and get certified in their areas of profession. We have courses designed for oil and gas industry, the practical aspect. We have courses like non-destructive testing courses, NDT 1 and 2. We have courses that are professional courses in themselves, the ones for human resources management, the ones for quality assurance and quality control, courses like project management, like logistics and supply chain management, and so on and so forth. On our page, we have already listed there all the courses available which you could go to and get yourself acquainted with the ones you need. The promo is generally slashing the cost of acquiring these certificates, the certifications, by half. And the promo will be ending soon. So, at this juncture, we are encouraging you. Come in, book your training, and you can be sure that you will get the best from us. Thank you.